Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Today, gonna be a match between Sharp and Sexy here on Fighting Spirit. Top right, we've got the white Terran, it is Sharp. And in the bottom left, it is Sexy, under his Smurf name, 10-Minute Flash. I don't know if that means he can beat Flash in 10 minutes, or he's just a faster player than Flash. Gotta have a lot of confidence if you're going to be a professional pro gamer. That is for certain. All right, so a TVT here from your Saturday. I can guarantee we're going to see vultures. We're going to see tank lines. We're going to see missile turrets, maybe some wraiths, maybe some battle cruisers, but definitely a whole lot of tanks. So what do we got? What do we got in store for the first part of this match? Well, nothing. No one's going for a proxy, which is actually pretty viable in TVT. You show up at your opponent's store with like 3 or 4 Marines, and they've got, 2, bad things will happen to them. But it is a 4-player map. It's a huge map. It is hard to find your opponent in time to get the barracks down in proper location. Sometimes we do see players throw down barracks in the middle of Fighting Spirit, because that way you have an equidistant distance to go. That is just redundant, man. Equidistant path to follow to get to wherever your opponent happens to be, even if you don't know where they are yet. But not what is happening here. Oh, okay. So, I mean, this is some pressure here from Sexy. He's going to throw down his barracks outside this little bridge, which means his Marines are going to get out there more quickly and get across the map more quickly, but you kind of have to know where your opponent is. So that's why I assume another SCV is going to move out and start scouting here sooner rather than later, but Sharp's the one who's scouting. He's the one checking for proxies. He's the one looking around trying to see, okay, where's my opponent? I know my opponent has from time to time gone for proxies. Actually, everybody's gone for proxies, man. SCV says nothing, top left, and here we go. So Marine production for Sexy is happening. Supply depot not bothering with the Marine. This is what I'm talking about. Like, you can be a little bit greedy here. Delay your Marine and go for that supply depot first. I mean, is it greedy? Because you're going to be supply blocked anyway. It's probably just the normal build. Factory coming up back home. Both players are working on them facts. And SCV says, aha! Look what we have found. And the Marine is more interested in chasing the scouting SCV than actually moving across the map here. Alright, well, SCV comes in, sees a factory, says, okay, so it's not a multi-rack kind of style opening here, which can be pretty good if it left unscouted and you don't see it coming, but if you do see it coming, you just kind of get some vultures out, and if you micro them well, they trade well versus the Marines, and then blah. Then blah, everyone is dead. SCV, get out of there. You have more HP than other workers for this reason. 1 HP. 1 HP and victory. Got out of there, man. Got out of there by the skin of his teeth. Expansion on the way from Sharp, expansion on the way from Flash. These two players are playing pretty straightforward. Barracks floating out because barracks are useless in TVT if you're not planning for going that early biological unit pressure. It's all about vultures. It's all about tanks. It is all about dat mech, which is mech is kind of king for Terran. It's very good versus Zerg. It's pretty much what you have to do versus Protoss, and it's what you do against Terran. So if you're a Terran player and you don't know how to mech, that's probably the first thing you should figure out. Is how to use vultures, how to use spider mines, how to use siege tanks, how all these things come together to create a beautiful symphony for Terran and a very cost-efficient, terrifying composition for everybody else. Good. The vulture, sneaks in. Does die, but kills the SCV building the command center. Delayed at the very last second. That totally sucks. His command center is done. And Sexy's is now done too. Now done as well. Très bien. Spider-Man research coming in here from Sharp. Is Sexy, he's more tanks than vultures here. Is he skipping vultures in this matchup? He's just making tanks, y'all. Lands the barracks. He's gonna start producing a he's producing a marine out of this. He's gonna try to use the marine in the situation. This siege tank came clear across the map. Are you kidding me? I kind of love this from Sexy. He's like, who needs vultures in this matchup? This is kind of genius. He's got a marine with him now, which is just extra DPS. It kind of helps protect the siege tank against things like SCVs that get up right up close to it. Oh my gosh, this is kind of, I love this so much. Another marine comes out. What? Does he have siege mode? Oh, the aggression is real right now. Who needs vultures? I just have marines and siege tanks. A siege tank is here for Sharp, but he's outnumbered 2-1, which is not good. SCV's dying for Sharp all over the place. They're taking hits. Down to 25 to 31. Another SCV dies. I love this. I love this aggression out of Sexy. This is so good. Sometimes TVT can be pretty passive, but I love this. Sexy's like, I'm just making tanks. I'm just making tanks. I don't care about your spider mines. I don't care about your vultures at all. I'll just kill your vultures straight up. Look at him floating the barracks over. So you can't target fire the tanks directly. I guess that doesn't really matter because they will prioritize them. But that siege tank's got 6 kills, 7 kills, and doesn't get another kill before he goes down. That's amazing. This was super cool from Sexy. Holy cow. All right, so Sharp's working on vulture speed. We're just making Goliaths. Vultures are not on the menu today. From Flash, from Broad, I was like, the vultures and the siege tanks and everything works together, and Sexy's like, shut up, man. All I'm making are Goliaths and siege tanks, and it's gonna be awesome. Sure, maybe. Maybe it will. I'll have to see, won't I? Yeah, some more traditional stuff here from Sharp. He's the older player. He's been around a little bit longer. He knows how to play this matchup the way you're supposed to do it, and Sexy's kind of messing it up right now. Spider mines have no power here. We can kill them before they explode on us. All right, here we go. It is a very different mech strategy versus the traditional one here. Oh, he's got his own vultures. Never mind, it's cool. Uh-oh. We're inside the mineral line now. Remember you had a worker advantage? Not anymore. Yeah, it's 38 to 38 workers right now. That is a pretty fantastic little run by here by Sharp. The tanks and the Goliaths have to run back. This is the problem. It is the problem with a capital T and a capital P with not getting your own vultures versus enemy vultures is they're fast. You can't react to them super quickly if you have Goliaths and siege tanks. Okay, well, we got our vultures out, but again, more Goliaths, and by that I mean there's one left over here. It's 80 to 78 supply. Sharp has more workers, which means that Sexy has a bigger army right now, which, oh, the spider mines are problematic. Both players working on siege mode. Sharp's is actually earlier. I swore I could have saw Sexy getting siege mode sooner than this, but no. All right, so Sexy's got his vulture group over here. They've got the Spider-Man upgrade. Throwing him down, playing the more standard TVT now. He's been bullied into it. Okay, he probably hasn't been bullied into it, but still, it feels like he has been. Anyone have any upgrades yet? I know we're working on them. But no vehicle upgrades yet. Sharp's working on +1. Sexy's working on +1. That's a pretty early starport out of Flash. pretty early starport indeed. Both players are scouting to see if third bases are attempted by their opponents. So far, not really. Oh, look at this. Took a spider mine hit, knocked him down to that 10 HP. They do 125 damage. Siege tanks 150. But plus extra explosive damage there. Damage types, they matter. Vultures cruising up the left side. Charon boosters are on the way here from Sharp. 195 total supply. Sharp still has the better economy. More SCVs anyway. It looks like both players are interested in taking their thirds at virtually the same time. I think Sexy's is coming up now. And, oh, Command Center's floating across from Sharp. Nice. His will be ready sooner. I like what Flash is doing here. Well, what Sharp is doing here. I keep saying Flash, but it's just Sexy. 10-minute Flash. That's his name. You know, it's 11:30 at night. I'm casting StarCraft. It's all good. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Ready for the TBT of the month about. I don't know. I do a TBT around there. PvP, same thing. ZVZ less often. It's just harder to find ZVZs that are long macro style ones. That went very well for Sexy here. 114 to 107 supply. Got the lead. Plus, he's got more army value because Sharp's supply is more SCVs than Sexy's is. Dropship on the way. Love the dropship play. So good in this matchup. Going for just 4 vultures and a dropship. Sounds like the start of a joke. Yeah, that got scouted. He sees it coming. He's got spider mines laid. He's got vultures ready. He's got siege tanks. He does not have siege tanks ready to defend, but I don't think it really matters. Dun, 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 dun. Sharp's got his own moving around, but there's a Goliath in his dropship. Hey. He's the one who's mixing up the meta now, eh? Sure is. Engagement coming right on in. Going to try to move into quite a few siege tanks here from Sharp. Not a ton. But, yeah, that is enough that Sexy's going to win that thing. But behold, the unload at the third base up Sexy. SCVs are going to go down. There's really not much to defend them, but also Vultures are getting in behind. Wow, Sharp's mineral line too. The SCV count is plummeting for both players right now. A Wraith is here for Sharp to defend against these siege tanks, not going particularly well. Sharp has a lead. Both players effectively getting mineral lines mostly obliterated here. 55 to 44 workers now. Sharp has the lead, which again indicates that the damage taken was virtually identical in this situation. Look at this Goliath. 6 kills on this guy. And he gets picked up and gets out of there because nothing responding here from Sexy can shoot up. That's so good. +1 attack from Sexy, +1 attack from Sharp. Upgrade actually coming in here from Sharp. Sexy's +1 attack just got started. It's going to be a little bit later than his other Terran opponents. Not good. Not good to lag behind on those upgrade timings, I can tell you that much. Another command center on the way from Sharp. Probably going to float it over here, or maybe build a command center here and float that one over this way. Trying to go for a double expand, a Rooney style thing. He's at 61 workers. Sexy's at 53. More Wraiths coming in from Sharp. I think Flash got a starport faster. He just I don't think he's done anything with it. Does he have any Wraiths out on the field? I really don't think he does. Did he get the Goliath out of there? He got the Goliath out of there. Very nice. That Goliath is a hero for sure. He's going back into battle too for a second tour. He's got 6 kills, maybe even more since we last saw him. We need to check the kills on this Goliath. That is my priority in this cast right now. It's a TBT. It's not going to end right this very second. It's going to take a while to get through those tank lines, man. getting inside the main. Goliath unloads. Goliath still has 6 kills. Can he get 7 before he goes down is the question of the day. He gets 7. Can he get 8? Do we hear an 8, ladies and gentlemen? Do we hear an 8? Can we get a 9? I don't know. Vultures are back here at the third base, causing some problems too, but they get dealt with pretty easily. Our Goliath friend is out, and he's alive, and he has escaped to fight another day. Can he get up to double digits in kills? The answer is probably not right here. There's like 6 tanks right here, man. Maybe don't try to unload in this position is my recommendation. Okay, fighting there is not great for Sexy. Sharp just has way more tanks, and they have the +2 attack. And we're still on +1 because I said earlier that upgrade is later for Sexy. That's going to hurt. If you recognize you're up an upgrade on your opponent and you take advantage of it, you're going to be a pretty happy person. Pretty happy player here. Okay, so yeah, we did. This does lift. Yeah, this does lift off. Head to the south. This bottom right base, natural expansion location, belongs to Sharp already. He built a command center there. Goliath ends up getting 8 kills, and he's within the minimum attack range. It's killing a missile turret count. No! No! The repair is too good. Ah, that totally sucks. That's bad news, Bears. Sexy expanding to the 6 o'clock position if he can pull that one off. And it seems like he should be able to defend it, at least for the time being. But it's 169 to 142 supply. Sharp has a big-time lead right now up against Sexy. Got the +2 attack. Like I said, already done. And the +2 just kick in. I think it just kicked in for Sexy. He's not working on +3. Sharp wasn't either until just now. So upgrade advantage is real, but for how much longer is it going to be? I think Sharp's going to max out faster than Sexy's going to right now. Upgrade advantage is non-existent, but like I said, that +3 for Sharp is coming in, and I'm watching Sexy's production tab for that and just not seeing it. So moving out. +2 attack, no armor for both players here. We're just moving, sieging, trying to kill everything within siege range, and then unsieging and moving again. Entirely a possibility here. Siege tanks doing the siegiest things they can do. Wow, that went really well for Sharp. Suddenly, Sharp's pushing really hard right now. That said, army value is pretty even if we do the quick math up here of total supply versus total workers, and the upgrades are the same. So I don't expect Sharp to be able to come in here very strongly. Especially not with these tanks defending. Oh, beautiful hit on that left side. Spider Mines and friendly fire tank damage. Taking out 2 siege tanks pretty darn quickly. That +2 or +3 is still coming in from Sharp and nothing coming from Sexy at all. 1 base, 2 base, 3 base, 4 base. 1 base, 2 base, 3 base, 4 base, 5 base. Sharp has an base advantage at least. He does unload in here. Try to get some spider mines down on these tanks. It does not work. Good control from Sexy there. Shuts it down pretty darn easily. Tank line fairly strong here from Sharp. Whoever has the best vision here is going to win, and nobody has a barracks floating or a science facility floating or apparently any scans they can use. 12 o'clock base on the way from Sharp, and we're getting very close to every base on the map being taken so far. Production tab for Sharp is huge. He's at 167 and 143 supply. He's got a big-time advantage right now. He's going to go ahead and consolidate his forces. Oh, he's defending against a drop coming into the bottom right. This is good. This is really good from Sexy. If he can hold this position, which he might be able to do, then he's going to be in a great position. But, man, this is no. Sharp is not interested in allowing that to happen at all. Maybe he's like, can I kill the drop ships before they get out of here? Some of them, sure. But everybody left behind dies. Are there anything in these drop ships? No, they're just trying to get home. They are empty. They're just trying to get home. Are you... Okay, that's a question for military law, like Geneva Convention stuff. If you are like a drop ship, right? You're just a... You just carry paratroopers into battle, right? You don't have any guns or anything, which I just realized that probably doesn't exist. But if dropships did exist, On their way home, could you be prosecuted as a war criminal if you shot them down when they were empty? That's an interesting question. I don't know. I'm not as well versed in military law. Maybe somebody in the comments is. Anyway, 154 to 145. This continues to be more of a close game than I expect. I keep expecting Sharp to just kind of take it, but no. Sexy's been defending very well. He's been aggressive with his own pushes too. He is going to be behind on this upgrade extremely soon, and he hasn't started +3 yet at all. So not exactly encouraging stuff here from our Teal Terran player. 170 to 161 supply. It just continues to be close. It does. This 12 o'clock base from Sharp is amazing, though. He just has more income. I don't know what else to tell you. Base count is happening here and going extremely well for Sharp. He's got that +3 attack now. 70 plus 15 versus 70 plus 10. That extra 5 can be a real big thing, especially with splash damage as it's compounding against their enemies. Dropships made it home. They're moving out for another sortie. Getting chased a little bit here, dropships of Sexy. Maybe losing these is bad. He's at 187 to 168 supply all of a sudden. No way. There's no way this drop does anything. Yeah, siege mode at the top. Is there enough to hold this position from Sexy? If there is, this is going to be disastrous for Sharp. He's got his own dropships to come in and unload on top of them, but it's not a guarantee he's going to be able to clean this thing out. Then he does. Did he time that with the creation of Goliaths? No, I don't think he did. All right, so he handles that, but it's still 183 to 176. You know, I really felt like Sharp had this game. But suddenly, Sexy's macro is going crazy through the roof right now. He doesn't care that he doesn't have the +3 attack. He's just going for it. So absolutely running in here, throwing down spider mines. It's 165 supply even for both of these players, but Sexy's on a rampage right now. Rampage! There's only Goliaths defending, which don't do very well against siege tanks. As it turns out, they're getting obliterated. He's winning these battles. There's a handful of tanks here from Sharp he can defend with, but these tanks are not doing anything. I kind of feel like if your enemy's pushing you, you either need to bring these to defend or come set up and try to siege this base, but those 3 tanks on the high ground are pretty well placed. Man alive. $170 to $151. What an absolutely just come from behind play here from Sexy. He was down 20 supply. Now he's up 20 supply. He's winning engagements. His dropships are somewhat dying here because there's Goliaths out, but not anymore. The dropships of Flash are trying to wander around, get something done. The Goliaths are ignoring them. Quite intentionally, the dropship pilots are maybe insulted that they're not getting shot at, but at the same time, not getting shot at is not something to really worry about. But this is the positioning. This is where Terrans want to get their tanks, right? The two of the newest sources of income here for Sharp under attack because these tanks are on this bridge. Defensive tanks are up, though, going to make pushing fairly difficult. Top left base here from Sharp is up. So even if Sharp loses these 2 bottom right bases, he's going to be fine. I really think so. Him taking that top left for his own is a big deal right now. Sexy is kind of getting squeezed out. Wraith's coming in from Sharp at 24 minutes because why not? And actually defending pretty well here from enemies trying to get on top of these SCVs. I don't know how much longer he can hold it. But man, having 4 tanks up here instead of just a couple is going to be a big deal. Forcing a liftoff on that command center. Income from this one base is denied, but the bottom right is still going strong right now. Center. Nobody taking that one. Nobody is feeling brave enough or desperate enough to go for that or ahead enough to take that. But Wraith Ball, Wraith Transition coming in here from Sharp. Oh, these SCVs have to retreat. There's nothing to defend them as these vultures are hunting them down. Hunting them for sport. No SCVs, get out of there. Get out of there. There's too many of them. Is this what is happening? How is this entirely undefended? Sexy is getting a huge, massive advantage here, taking out a ton of the SCVs for Sharp. He can't take advantage of these bases if he's dealing with that many SCV losses. The Vultures are not interested in actually defending themselves against the enemy. 63 to 47 workers. Absolutely incredible stuff. These Vultures have backed themselves into a corner because they don't know really what else to do. What other options they have, I don't know. Wow, 63 to 48 total workers right now. Sexy is doing some good stuff. This is a good game. For most of it, I really thought this was going to be Sharp's match, but Sexy is doing everything he can to prove me wrong here. Now, the one thing you're worried about if you're watching this game and you're a Sexy fan are these guys. Once the Wraith Ball gets high enough, they can start picking off tanks pretty easily, but the Goliath count is not 0. And by that, I mean Goliaths keep wandering into siege tank lines, so the Goliath count is just about 0. For Sexy here. He's got 2. He's got 2 of them. And look at this. You can't kill buildings with vultures, so just going back to work, everyone. Making more SCVs. He's now up 57 to 50. What the heck did I miss? How did... what? I guess there are a lot of SCVs that died, but unloading tanks into the tank line. Wow. Sexy feels like he can break this, but it's a pretty nice concave from Sharp. I'm not sure this is something that he can do, but yeah, now suddenly Sharp's up 158 to 125. And the surprise Wraiths have arrived. And you don't have any Goliaths, and your tank count is going to get whittled down because the Wraiths are here. Oh my gosh, this is hurt. This is hurt. I'm telling you, if you're a Sexy fan. Are you a Sexy fan? Man, Wraiths just picking off those drop ships. Goliaths are here hitting them, but it takes more than a couple hits to kill a Wraith, and you can't really target fire them either because they're all balled up like that. So that is, that was some beautiful play. It looks like Sexy's going to try to take this middle base. He's desperate enough to try and take it now. He's down 63 to 48 workers. He's down 168 to 110 supply. He went from making a huge move to suddenly regretting that move immensely. He still doesn't have +3 attack, you guys. I don't understand. I guess he's done the math and he decides you don't need +3 attack in TVT. All right, center held. Is it held forever? The question is, there's nobody in range. These siege tanks can't actually fire, which is a problem. Scan? Oh, taking hits. Does he not have a scan available? Oh, no. Oh, no. These Wraiths have complete air dominance here. So they can provide the vision for the siege tanks to fire over here, but there's nothing for Sexy to see across this wall. Oh, SCV's getting sniped here. Sexy's SCV count has just been struggling today immensely. He's trying to use the Wraiths, but taking tank fire, taking Wraith fire there too. Not ideal. This game is absolutely bonkers stuff right here. But it's 189 to 111 supply. The supply, just looking at it, it's not. There's no way out of this, I don't think, from Sexy. He went from down to up to down to up to down. He's really trying to make a push somewhere, but he has to evacuate this base because he's got tanks on either side. It was a desperation move altogether. He knows that. And if he can get up here and take down... There's 4 tanks on the high ground, though. And there's tanks able to swing in from the other way here, too. I don't know. Dude, Wandering Goliath into tank fire is not going to do it for you, friend. And that's your good game. Sexy taps out, and Sharp is your winner in 29 minutes. Yeah, that's one of those games. That is one of those games where the losing player just kind of gets an eye on what's going on and recognizes how far he's down, and then he taps out. He doesn't have to lose his whole army, right? He doesn't have to necessarily lose this base before he figures it out. He sees the Wraith Ball is massive. He doesn't have enough to handle that. He knows he can't get past these tanks. And then, yeah, Sharp just withstood blow after blow after blow here. This top left base looks pretty happy. This one never came back, but that's okay. This one came back. It's about 65 SCVs. He must have lost 20 or 30 in the game today and makes his way back every time. Having +3 attack helped immensely. And then getting this giant Wraith Ball out. Serious, massive advantage, too, in a TVT. Something we see more often than not. And the Goliaths just weren't enough to handle that. Yeah, just a couple engagements going bad there for Sexy. Sharp just steady the whole way. He gets that win. GG Sharp. 197,000 points here from Sexy today. 225 for Sharp. Ended up producing... Sexy produced more units, but man, that kill-death ratio, 376 to 301. That's a big difference. Structures raised. Ended up killing 20 buildings of Sharp and only losing 5, but it didn't matter. In the end, income here for Sharp was better throughout. He had more bases. He was able to replace his SCVs very quickly. He ended up outspending Sexy by 9,000 resources. And that's a big deal in 29 minutes. So GG to Sharp, and that's going to be it from me. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all with /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching. You take care of yourself.